Of Tunisia is deeply rooted in Christianity with a rich heritage dating back centuries. Despite its predominantly Muslim population, Tunisia's faith history includes the legacy of the early martyrs, and it continues to shape its spiritual identity. And George Thomas brings us the story from Carthage, Tunisia.
If you're looking for an adventure destination off the beaten path, look no further than Tunisia.
Tunisia is a wonderful nation. We like to call it the Pearl of the Mediterranean. It overlooks the entire Mediterranean Sea and is like a beautiful window to our desert.
Bordered by Algeria, Libya, and the Mediterranean Sea, Tunisia offers a diverse range of landscapes, from beautiful beaches to the vast Sahara Desert. And for certain movie fans,
Tunisia is home of Star Wars.
Uncle Owen!
Yeah?
It's R2 unit has a bad motivator, look!
Hey, what are you trying to push on us?
Tunisia was the filming location for the first 6 Star Wars movies, with sets still visible in the desert. The country also boasts a rich Christian history.
There is this sort of idea that Christianity is this new religion that is coming from the West. No, we're talking about 200 AD, when there was a vibrant church here.
American William Brown has lived here for 22 years. He pastors the Reformed Church of Tunisia. Drive 20 minutes northeast of the capital, Tunis, and you'll arrive at the ancient Roman ruins of Carthage.
The ruins, at least for people of faith, are very powerful.
Carthage served as a significant center of early Christian thought and home to influential church fathers.
You have Cyprian, his work on the unity of the church. You have Augustine, who was not from Carthage, but was from modern-day Algeria, who came over, was a teacher here. You had Tertullian, and Tertullian is very significant because he was a Tunisian lawyer who came to Christ, and he came up with new vocabulary to try to explain Christian concepts. So even this word Trinity that we have is actually originally came from him.
Have mercy upon you.
American Frank Bernardi pastors the St. George's Anglican Church in Tunis. He points to Carthage as an important center of Christianity in the 2nd and 3rd centuries, a thriving hub for the faith that served as the seat of the Christian church for all of North Africa.
What it produced was this really significant, what I like to call high-octane church that had a reputation throughout the world because of how serious they took their faith and how willing they were to die for their faith.
Dr. Corne Becker, Dean of the School of Divinity at Regent University, says Christianity faced resistance from the Roman Empire, suspicious of this flourishing new faith.
Carthage was really a hotbed of persecution, so Christianity comes to Carthage at the beginning of the 2nd century. And right at the beginning of that, there are a number of martyrs.
Saints Perpetua and Felicity were Christian martyrs from the early persecutions of the church in Africa by Emperor Severus.
Among the more famous martyrs are Felicitas and Perpetua, 2 women brought to this amphitheater on March 7th, 203 AD, to face punishment for following Christ. According to historical accounts, Felicity and Perpetua were led out of those gates down this narrow portion of the lower level of the amphitheater. On that March 7th day, tens of thousands of people had presumably gathered on the upper level, anticipating that the 2 Christian women would be eaten alive by wild animals. Instead, the accounts show that the emperor of the day commanded that the 2 women be put to death by sword.
The executioners carried out their duties quickly, though Perpetua had to guide the gladiator's sword to her throat after he first painfully struck a bone instead of a vein.
Their extraordinary commitment to Christ in the face of public scourging, being thrown to wild animals and finally being killed by the sword, would become a witness not only to North Africa, but to the rest of the world.
The Christians back then who accepted the truth sacrificed themselves, and they did not deny Christ and their beliefs.
Mufida is a member of the Christian community here, and we've taken precautions to protect her identity. She tells CBN News their story of Christianity is one of resilience.
I'm related to these martyrs who were among the first Tunisian Christians in my country. My identity is related to them. I belong to something historic and deep-rooted in Tunisia, and that makes me feel even more proud to belong to Christ.
Elijah, a Christian leader here, says that even though the country's Christian community is small, it stands as a living testimony to the enduring power of faith.
It's a challenge to be a believer in Tunisia, but at the same time, it's a pleasure to live the Christian life and share this with others.
The rough estimates are that there are about 30,000 Christians today who reside in Tunisia, 80% of whom are foreigners. Local Tunisian believers number around 5,000. Although a predominantly Muslim country, Tunisia recognizes freedom of religion. Since the Arab Spring uprising almost 14 years ago, the government has embraced more democratic values.
It used to be very hard for Christians to speak openly about Christ and share their faith. Some were beaten and died in jail. There was so much danger and restrictions, but now, slowly with the openness of the environment, things are changing.
Bernardi says Tunisia's spiritual legacy is not only in ancient ruins, but also in the memories of martyrs and theologians. He longs for a resurgence of faith that mirrors the powerful, world-changing Christianity once defined by this region.
I want Christians around the world to pray that that blessing of Carthage, a church of high-octane Christianity that changed the world, I pray that that blessing return to this place.
George Thomas, CBN News, Carthage, Tunisia.
Thank you, George. Fascinating report reminding us of the deep and rich roots of Christianity, and in that location, it being known as a high-octane church. That is inspirational. And to know both martyrs and theologians influenced the church for centuries. Fascinating. George, thank you for your report.
We get it. Your life is crazy right now. You've got a lot going on. So who has time to change the world? Well, guess what? You do. When you become a CBN partner, you make an impact on lives all around the world. For just $20 a month, you help provide safe water, good food for hungry tummies, life-changing surgeries, and a helping hand to someone in need. You're helping to preach the gospel all across the globe. You're sharing the love of Jesus and building the kingdom of God right from your living room, or your car, or from work, or wherever you are. It's a big impact for just $20 a month. That's about the price of 4 lattes, or 3 if you're really fancy. It's easy to sign up. Just go to cbn.com or call us at 1-800-700-7000. Become a CBN partner today and start changing the world.